call it yet, but Marsha Blackburn has a big lead. Let's take a look at the state of West Virginia right now, where the incumbent Democrat Joe Manchin is up against the Attorney General, Patrick Morrisey. A lead there for Joe Manchin, Democrat in the most Trump state in the country. Matthew Dowd, he did his best also to hug President Trump when he could, but he really emphasized the issue of health care.
Yeah, he absolutely emphasized the issue of health care. And keep in mind, he was one of the only Democratic senators to vote for Kavanaugh in the hearing and go back to that. And so I think this may be an exception to the rule where the Democrat is able to overcome geography, which is a problem in West Virginia. It's a deep red state, deeply favors Donald Trump. We'll see if Manchin can pull it out. This may be the few areas he can overcome.
This is a close one. Joe Manchin, though, a known quantity in the state of West Virginia.
Absolutely. They know Joe. He says, I'm still the guy that you know, that I'm just a little older. But you saw, George, in that ad where he took aim at the lawsuit filed by 20 AGs in this country,
including
to block
Patrick Morrisey,
including Morrisey himself,
that would invalidate Obamacare and the pre-existing conditions. We'll be right back.
This is Dan Harris continuing our coverage on ABC News live up here in the Skybox. Let's walk outside here and talk to two of our analysts tonight. This is the microphone. Hello, guys. Mike
hey, what's happening, Dan?
And Tara Setmayer. So, Mike, let me start with you. Nate Silver said Indiana is the most important call of the night. The Democrats losing an important Senate seat in the state of Indiana. In your view, what went wrong here?
Well, you know, I think I'm going to have to disagree with Nate Silverman. I know it's blasphemous. But for me, I think the state of Indiana, I had a feeling that Donnelly wasn't going to make it. It's a tough state. It's Vice President Pence's home state. The state of Indiana doesn't represent the new electorate that's represented in this midterm election that we feel has been energized. It doesn't really represent the diverseness of the types of individuals who are still standing in line right now as we speak, who are talking on Twitter right now as we speak. For me, the biggest indicators would be the states that are more diverse, in the sense of Texas. I'm really betting on Beto to pull it out. I think that's going to be interesting to see. I think what's going to happen in Georgia will be interesting to see. Florida will be interesting to see. And also, too, Arizona.
Tara, let's talk about the state of Florida. We've got, in the governor's race there, what, according to the numbers, looks like a really tight race. How do things look to you?
Well, it's going to be a nail-biter, both in the governor's race and the Senate race. Now, interestingly, right now, Rick Scott is up by about 63,000 votes. Miami-Dade, which is about 13% of the population of Florida, has about 70% already reporting. Can Bill Nelson make that up? It's going to be interesting. He's an incumbent. That could be potentially another seat to pick up for Republicans in the Senate. But I know that the White House is paying close attention to that governor's race because Florida is an important state going into the re-elect in 2020. It's a swing state. And depending on who's governor there can have a lot of implications for the way that the 2020 re-election campaign is run in the state of Florida. So that's something that I know that the White House is definitely paying close attention to. Something else in Florida, the 27th district, which was Ileana Ros-Lehtinen district, she retired. It was an open seat. Donna Shalala, who used to be the Health and Human Services Secretary under Clinton, she won that seat. It's the first time in 30 years that a Democrat will hold that seat in Florida. So that's a pickup for Democrats.
Tara and Mike, thank you very much. We'll be coming back to you throughout the evening. I want to go now to another race that we're watching really closely. That's in Missouri, where the Democratic incumbent Claire McCaskill is fighting a tough Republican challenger to keep her seat. And ABC's Deborah Roberts is right there. Deborah, what are you seeing and hearing?
Hey, Dan. Yeah, fighting for her political life. Claire McCaskill's supporters are starting to trickle in. They sort of seem to be a mix of excited and also cautious, reflecting what she has already acknowledged, which is this is going to be a nail-biter. Now, Claire McCaskill is a Democrat in a state that is pretty largely Republican, and she admits that this has been a very tough race. She won by double digits last time. This time, she knows that it is all up in the air. Her Republican Republican challenger, Josh Hawley, has had a lot of support from President Trump. In fact, the president was just here last night. So this is going to be the fight of her political life. She also voted against Judge Kavanaugh. She knows that that might cost her some votes. She says she doesn't really regret it because of the grounds on which she did not vote for him. But things have changed here in Missouri, and she knows that. She says she's talked to voters a lot. She recognizes that a lot of them are very supportive of the president and that she's going to have to reach out and work with the president should they grant her a third term. But that's going to be the big question. Will they give her the benefit of the doubt, Dan, and give her a third term? It's still too early to tell. The votes are just trickling in. Not looking great at this moment, but it's still very early in the night. And Claire McCaskill, we don't know. Could be in it for a big surprise, or she may surprise others. We'll see.
There you go. Thank you very much, Deb Roberts. Let's take a look at where things stand right now in the House. The race for the House. Democrats need to pick up 23 seats. They've made a gain of 2, but the night is young. Let's take a look at where things stand in the Senate. The Democrats need to make a gain there of 2 seats, but the Republicans are the ones who have made a gain, and that comes in the state of Indiana, where the Democratic incumbent has lost, Joe Donnelly. And let's talk very quickly before we send it back to George that we can project a winner in Florida House District 27. The Democrat Donna Shalala, who you may remember was the former HHS secretary under Clinton.